So datetime functions, what is the objective? Ask to timestamp, we'll format datetimes, extract from timestamp, convert to date, manipulate datetimes. We have already done the classroom setup. So let's use a subset of the Databricks events dataset to practice working with datetimes. So what we are doing is that we are loading the Bedbricks dataset, we are selecting the user ID and the event timestamp, and we are aliasing it with the timestamp variable. So this is the dataset we are having, user ID and timestamp. So there are certain built-in functions with datetime functions. We'll see it in the subsequent things. The first is a casting. So the timestamp is a string column. So what we are doing is that first we are creating a new column known as timestamp, which is existing column. That's not a new column. And then what we are doing is that dividing it by 10 to the power 1 and then 6 zeros, 1e6, and then casting it to a timestamp. So what is happening is that this timestamp is in a weird format here, and once we cast it to a timestamp, we get a proper datetime format. Here also what we are doing is that we are importing the timestamp type and we are casting it with the timestamp type. So similarly what we are getting is that we are getting this timestamp here with the proper date and time. Date format. So what we are doing here is that the date format allows to format the timestamp into various formats. Like here, we are creating two new columns, the date string and the time string, and the date string contains the date and the time string contains the time. The date string has a format of DD, YY. So that is here what is happening is that this timestamp over here is converted into July 01, 2020, and the time string is converted into hour, minute, second, dot, the second format. So this is what we are getting down here. We are extracting the date time attribute from the timestamp. So we are getting the year, month, the day of week, minute, and second from the timestamp. So this is what we are getting down here. The to date. So what is happening is that we are creating a new column called date and we are converting the timestamp column to date, and we are extracting only the date here. So the timestamp has two parts, the date and the time. Here we are extracting the date with the toDate function. So manipulating the date times, so there is a function known as dateAdd which returns a date that is given number of days after start. So the concept is the same. We create a new column called plus dates and we do a date add with the column timestamp, comma 2. 2 denotes the number of days to be added, so 2 days are being added. So therefore, so it was 1st July, now it becomes 3rd July. 1st July, 3rd July. So that's the concept here. And then we clean up the classroom. Hope you enjoyed the lecture on date times in Azure Databricks. Thank you. Bye. Hi, this lecture is about complex types. The objectives are we will apply collection functions to process arrays. We'll union data frames together. So let's jump in and see what we have in store. So first we import the PySpark.sql.functions. We load the sales data set and we display it here. One of the things that we would be working is email, which you can see down here, and the items, which is an array data structure, and it has a couple of elements in it. So the element that we would be concerned is the item name. So let's see what we are doing with it. So with column items, we explode the items. What explode would do is that it would break up the items in its subsequent elements. We select the email and we select the items.item name. So what we are doing is that we are selecting the items.item name, and then what we are doing is that we create a new column called details, and we split the column item name, and this would return a list. So what is happening? We have selected the email, we have got the item name, and then the details column is a newly formed column. What it is doing is that we have split the standard queen matrix, and it is split into three elements. So there are a couple of string functions. So split here, what it is doing for email is that it is splitting it into, and the splitting separator is at the rate, and we are getting these two values which are here. So that is the first part of the email handle, and this is the second part of the email handle. And how it is bisecting it? It is bisecting via the separator which is at the rate. The collection functions, note here, we would be using two things, that is the array contents and the element add. Array contents returns null if the array is null, true if the array contains value, and false otherwise. The element add returns the element of array at a given index. Note here that the array elements are numbered starting with 1. It's not the C kind of indexing, it starts with 1. So what it is doing is that we are filtering array contains call details matrix. So if it contains a matrix in the details column, then it will return a true, otherwise it will return false. And with that, we are creating a new column called size, and since details is an array, we are picking the second element. So what it is doing is that we are having the item name, which is a standard queen matrix, and so these contain matrices, so we'll have the details column, and it is splitting it into this. And then what we are doing is that in the details, what we are doing is it is picking the second element. Aggregate functions. So the aggregate functions, there is a collect set which returns an array consisting of all values within the group. So here we are grouping by email, and then we aggregate the collect set size alias size options. So it is a group by email. So for each email we are getting the size options. So collect set is returns an array consisting of all unique values within the group. Union and union by name. So the data frame union method resolves columns by position as in standard SQL. You should use it only if the two data frames have exactly the same schema, including the column order. In contrast, the data frame union by name method resolves column by name. This is equivalent to union all in SQL. Neither one will remove duplicates. So it is both the schema are being considered, and here it is false because the matrix schema and the size df schema is different. But if we get two schemas to match with a simple select statement, so how we are doing is we are selecting email and we are selecting email count, and so that's how we are able to select it, and then we can do an union count union on that, because the schema is matching, because we are selecting email here and email here, and then we can see that it is matching, and we see here that both are added together, matrix df.count and size df.count, so it is an union. Hope you liked the lecture on complex types. Thank you. Bye.